So the next thing is, as a coach, how do you want to be remembered?
Love this conversation.
Yeah, I know. So competitive and prepared, that's a good thing. Like, a lot of times, like we talk about this in practices and stuff like that. A lot of coaches aren't, or in games even, right? Like youth coaches especially, they just come and like, hey, let's work hard. It's like, well, you're not giving your kids tools. So as a coach, would they say that you came prepared, whatever that means, where you came to give them a chance to win? I think that's important. Um, you brought out the best in your players. I think that's a huge thing. Like that's a big compliment for a coach. He brought the best out of me. That's a good thing. And that could just simply mean, when I was getting lazy, he pushed me a little bit. When I was getting arrogant, he humbled me a little bit. When I was not confident, he helped me with confidence. All these different things. He could read uh, areas of the game where, no, this is what you need help with, right? Like that's what I mean by bringing the best out of his players. Honest and fair. Honest and fair. I don't mean fair like everyone's equal, but honest meaning he could tell you that, if I think of a coach, yeah, he was honest with me. That's a good thing. He told me that I wasn't good enough, or he told me that I was, or he.
And meant it and stuck to
Yeah,
it.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it was honest with you.
Yeah.
He gave you honest feedback, right? And fair meaning, you got what you deserved, right? And fair, not fair meaning everyone got equal ice time, but guys that deserved more got more. Guys that he kept guys accountable. That's to me what I mean by that. I think it's important they give good direction, good communicators, and teachers of the game and life the best that you can. I mean, at certain levels, they don't really care about what you think about life. They care about the game. But I think I would rather be remembered by that. Some coaches don't. I think that if you can give kids good direction and give them like that, to me, good direction and good teaching just simply means that you're giving them the right tool. You're giving them a vehicle to execute properly. Right? Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
So like chop a tree down, you don't give the kid a hammer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you give him the right tools, like so to make his game a lot better and um, the team better. And then players should say, "I was thankful for having him as a coach," not hope that guy gets hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then got the most out of his players. And one thing, door was open. I could talk to him.
Yeah.
That's what I got today.
Yeah. My I could talk about this for a long time.
Oh, I do have one.
About the coach. Do you want to go? Or you want me to go?
Just made time for people, made everyone feel important, very important. Cared about his players. Wouldn't what I said earlier about the fighting thing. Wouldn't ask a player to do something that he wouldn't do. Would be willing to do, and match the effort of the players, or maybe even give more.
Yeah. That's good. So my thing with the coach, because I agree with all those things, but now it's like when you're coaching, you can get away with. I feel like it's a lot easier to get away with being a bad coach or a bad teacher or a bad parent because like how do you measure your results, right? So if you're a parent, it's easier because you only have a few kids. But if you got a team of 20 or you got a team of 15 or 17 or whatever it is, how are you measuring whether or not you're a good coach? And to me, it's what kind of players do I have? That's the stick. That's what measures it. It's not how many wins. It's not were we a good team or not. Those aren't the things that matter in terms of if you're a good coach or not. Because
like in the youth level,
youth levels. Because if you just have good players, like you'll win.
That's right.
If you have bad players, you'll lose. That's how it's gonna go.
More or less.
So how are you measuring whether or not you're an impactful coach or you're an impactful teacher? You got a classroom of 20, 30 kids, and it's what's the quality of that classroom? What is the quality of those kids on that team? What do other people say about those kids? That's a reflection of you. Now it might not be any individual, but if you go for a team party or you walk out of the dressing room, like one thing for what it's worth, when I'm coaching a team, I make sure there's zero garbage left in the room after. Why? Just because it's a good habit to get into, where the rink guy doesn't walk into the room after and be like, these idiots like made a huge mess everywhere, left things all over the place. Because you want that reflection on you to be good, and you want those kids to feel like that you wanted what's best for them, you got the best out of them, like you said. And I think the way that you measure whether or not you're a good coach is by the quality of your group at the youth levels. When you're up, obviously it's that plus your winning, right? You need to win, or not even plus that. Like, because at the end of the day, it's like your job is this, their job is this, and we're supposed to be on the same level and win. Um, but for a lot of people that are listening that are coaching youth or coach even junior, it's like, do you have a bunch of idiots on your team? Because if you do, and there was no improvement from day one to day whatever when you're done, that's a reflection of you. It's not just the group, because you should be able to make an impact positively on any group. I don't care how problematic they are. If you're coaching effectively, or if you're teaching effectively, if you're doing a good job, there should be some noticeable positive improvements in that group over the 8 months that you have them or whatever. It's a long time, right? It's a long time. You're seeing them probably 4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week, practices and games, tournaments, whatever, extra team things that you do together. You should be able to make a positive impact on those kids. And I think as coaches, you can get away with being a poor coach a lot more easily, because you can hide, because there's 20 kids, you can hide, and you just look at the results of your team. How many games did you win? And you're being Joe Coach. It's like, I don't think that's a good way to measure impact on your group when you're at, youth levels, even into junior. I think it's the same even when people are getting paid and it's about winning. I think there's still an element of that even up through the junior college stuff, because they're kids, they're still developing, even if they're young adults. 20 years old, like, to me, it's like you're still super young. You got lots that you need to figure out. And if you don't have a teacher, a coach, whoever that's giving you the right tools, like you said, then that's shame on the coach, man.
Well, yeah, but you could even say at pro and junior college levels, it still applies, but it just depends on, this segment that we're doing today might, there are people that would look at it and say, "Who gives a shit?" Gives a shit, right? Then there's that person. There's several of those people that just like, who cares what anyone thinks of me, right? That's not the norm, by the way. Most people would like to come across, or not come across, be genuinely want to do all the good things that we just talked about. Like, who, just going back to a player, who would want to be remembered as a guy that was a kind of an asshole in the room and didn't really work that hard and was a shit
Well,
teammate.
that's why that bugs me so much. Like, when, whether it's a coach or a player or a person, and it's just like, well, I don't care what anyone thinks. That is one of my biggest annoyances. It's like,
Right,
what do you mean you don't care what anyone
right.
thinks?
Well, that's what I was saying. Is there are people that just they actually don't care, and that's weird. But I mean, for most people,
Yeah, you care to some
when,
degree.
when someone, if you talk to someone, well, especially like you start thinking some people that you played with are going to be pretty successful. Like my buddy Paul DiPietro, we're like best friends, and I'm glad that he says great things about me as a teammate, especially in the business I'm in. Because how would it be great? How would it be if someone said, "Yeah, this PowerTech guy, that Andy guy, whatever. Oh yeah, I used to play with him. Oh yeah, like, oh, what a great podcast. Yeah, he's a jackass. He's an idiot. Oh, that doesn't bode well, right? You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, it can bite you in the ass. So it's just better to be the good guy and whatever. So anyways, with a coach, what I was going with is there are coaches that they all they care about is the win, and they might look at this and say, well, who cares what someone thinks? But I think most people, when they look back, I mean, in the moment, you might be able to get away with I don't care. I think when you look back and you got like maybe you coached a team for 3-4 years, like the same group of guys, you brought them through junior, let's say, and you got 4 guys that make the NHL and whatever. And they, hey, what was this guy like? He was a goof, like no good, jackass. What'd you learn from him? Nothing. Or he was good at X's and O's, but like he didn't give 2 rips about anybody. Like that's to me, that's not how I want to go out. Like you know what I mean? But there are people that they actually don't care. So for those people, there's
Yeah,
there's that.
yeah.